Welcome back, Shipmate Squad. This week we got another exciting episode. We're going to be talking about trends and fads and how your business can navigate them. So guys, today I thought was a good time to talk about trends with everything that's going on. Every couple months, every couple years, you see that certain products rise to popularity, or at a certain time, something's new, something's in, something's hip. And, as a business, you want to get on those trends and you want to make money off them. And I understand that urge, and I too have participated in trends. But I think there's a lot of things that we need to keep in mind when we decide that we're going to ride a trend. One of the biggest things to keep in mind about trends is that trends come and they go. Trends rarely last for prolonged periods of time, but that doesn't mean that it's not a great opportunity. It's always a window of opportunity that you can, profit from, that you can benefit from if you're able to, get in, make your money, and get out. So what I wanted to do is talk about some of the latest trends. We got people selling masks and gloves and, door openers and Lysol and hand sanitizer and disinfectant wipes and all these different things that are related to the coronavirus. This is a great thing to sell. It's something we definitely need right now. There's a lot of opportunity there. And, people really need these things and are benefiting from people selling them on the internet. But like anything else, there's going to become a time where these start to decline in sales as demand shifts back to normal, as places begin to reopen, mask orders are lifted. But just like other trends of the past, there's a huge window of opportunity here, and there's going to be a lot of people who come out of this thing and make a ton of money from it. So I've seen lots of trends. I've seen things like, remember fidget spinners? Remember those wristbands that people used to put on their wrists that look like trains and cars and horses and pigs? And remember, copper cookware when that was like a thing, like Copper Chef, and everyone was Copper Chefing. And, there's tons of these trends that have come through over time. And, I've participated in a few of them myself selling online. I did the copper thing a while back and, it worked out pretty well. But the key is, when you're going to enter a trend, you need to be early. You need first mover advantage. If you're not moving on that trend as it appears, you're probably too late. So I want you guys to keep this in mind when you're navigating trends. You want to be early to the party, because if you're late, there might not be anything left to drink or eat. So you want to make sure that if you're going to do it, you get in there early and you're one of the first people, so that way you establish a position in that market segment. So that's the first tip. The second tip is to carry less inventory more often. So because we don't know when trends are going to end, the last thing you want to do is get stuck with tons of inventory on hand and be unable to sell it after the trend dies down. So what I want you to do is I want you to order less inventory more often. Instead of putting in that big old order for, a 40-foot container, maybe you opt for a 20-foot container twice or 3 times or 4 times, but you get less quantity at a time. Go buy a pallet instead of a truck. Just order in smaller quantities so that way you have less on hand, so you're carrying less risk at all times. This is going to allow you to have the flexibility to get out of a certain market when, there's problems arise, the market starts to die down, demand starts to die down, and the trend is over. So this is going to help you set up to exit that trend. The third tip I want you to keep in mind is that I highly recommend not building your entire business model around a trend. I've seen a lot of companies do this, and they grow really fast. They rapidly, capture market segment. They make tons of money. And then when the fad is over that their business is centered around, they can't produce another product. They can't, get into the market in other ways. So I think it's really important to make sure that you lay a foundation for yourself, so that way the trend item or the popular item is only part of your strategy. It is not your overall business. This will help also reduce that risk we're talking about, because we always want to be reducing risk while trying to increase profitability. I think it's very important to make sure that you have some items that are not affected by trends that can help put your business on stable footing once that trend ends and you have some other source of income. So just some differentiation, I like to think, if you have one product or you have, just a trend item that you're trying to move, it's almost more like gambling than it is, being an online seller. Some people make out big, they walk away with a ton of money, and other people, end up coming late to the party and they're stuck with their inventory. So I get that some people can only have one or two SKUs because, there's, constraints such as money, there's storage space, there's, other things going on that they can't control. But I really want you to think about these kind of things before you make that move into a trend item, because trends can be immensely profitable. But like I said, they also have an end date. Trends eventually end. So keep that in mind. In parallel to trends, another thing to keep in mind is seasonality. So this is like if you sell Christmas lights during the holiday season, or Halloween costumes at Halloween, or Easter egg decorating kits at Easter. These things are also similar. Although there are companies that have built entire companies and organizations around these type of seasonal items. It's still important, in my opinion, though, to think about, making sure you're limiting how much inventory you have on hand, making sure you're not going to get stuck with a ton of things, making sure that, you have some risk spread out. So, if you're going to do seasonal items exclusively, you got to factor that into your business model. You can do it, but, I recommend having a standard assortment, and then off of that standard assortment, venturing out into seasonal items or trend items from your normal business model. So this is going to give you a lot more security and a much stabler base to be standing on once the tide goes out. It's like Warren Buffett said, you don't know who's been swimming naked until the tide goes out. So guys, I hope you learned something from this video. I really want to see you guys doing trends the right way, making tons of money off this, because they are great opportunities, and I want you guys to all profit from them. I don't want you guys to make some of the mistakes I made in the past. I want you guys, to be prepared. I hope you guys liked the video. If you could give me a second and just like, subscribe, share. We're really trying to grow this channel. We're still pushing for that 1,000 subscribers, and we need you to help us with our mission. Thank you guys so much for checking out this video. We'll see you next week.